Welcome to Good Morning Hospitality, your one-stop shop for the latest news, noteworthy trends, and thought-provoking discussions across the industry. From hotels and short-term rentals to all things travel and hospitality, you'll find each episode equips you with the information that you need to start your week. Join us on Good Morning Hospitality every Monday, wherever you get your podcasts.
Good morning.
Happy Monday.
Hello, hello.
Happy Monday. It's the new trio. I'm getting used to it, but it's so wonderful to have you with us every Monday, Jamie.
Yeah, and it is I feel like getting into a new rhythm of get the kids off of school, get home, have a cup of coffee, and then it's time for GMH.
Exactly.
School's back. We don't have Will bringing that early morning energy with the well and good morning coffee every single Monday. So I think we're each just going to have to level up our coffee intake. So
got mine right here.
Anybody needs it, let us know.
Well, amazing. Did you guys do anything fun over the weekend?
Same old here, guys. You know the drill.
I had a fun weekend up in Knoxville, visiting my wife's family. So we had a mix of funeral, birthday, and lake party. So as much family as you could possibly mix into 36 hours, we did it.
Wow.
Sounds like an emotional roller coaster too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, this is my last time coming to you from my camp's living room. I'm making the trek back to Miami starting today, and I'll be there tomorrow. It was beautiful in the 80s all weekend, and woke up this morning and it's 45. So it's things happen fast in the mountains.
Feels like a swamp here in Alabama. So yeah. I'm ready for actual fall, not fake fall.
Yeah, I know. It's coming. It's coming. Well, we have a bunch of really fun stuff to talk about today. Before we get into that, we have some quick words from our friends at Guesty.
Thanks, you guys, and welcome to Waking Up with Guesty. I'm Keegan Cotton, the Director of Technical Program Management here at Guesty, and I'm here with my first tidbit for you, the top 5 reasons for why I think you should go to Guestival 2025. Number 1, it's hosted in Mexico City, one of the top 10 cities in the world for food. Super easy to Uber around. And if you don't speak Spanish or solo un poco, you can get around because it's a very big touristy city. So there's a lot of folks that speak both English and Spanish. Number 2, not only will we have key players from the different major OTAs that Guesty connects with, but we'll also have a number of vendors who started themselves as property managers and actually built some really impressive tools out on top of the Guesty platform to absolutely maximize their performance. Number 3, this is a big one, networking with every type of host that comes to Guestival. This isn't a stuffy conference where you get put into conference rooms and just watch from the crowd and don't talk to anyone around you. This is a networking first conference. You can meet hosts that are just getting started, that went from having a handful of properties to really managing full time, even folks who've grown so large that they bring in a full team to manage on their behalf. We'll actually be facilitating roundtable discussions at the conference where you can sit across from your fellow property managers and actively discuss some of the harder hitting issues that are facing the industry today. Number 4, we'll actually have the largest PMC in the US, Casa Ghost, speaking at the conference, so always good to see how it's being done. And number 5, I will actually be at Guestival myself with members of the TPM team, ready to sit down with customers to go through their Guesty configuration one-on-one and make tailored recommendations for how we think you can perform best in your geo with your inventory. If you've already purchased your ticket to Guestival, we'll be reaching out a little bit closer to the event to get those meetings scheduled. And if you haven't bought your ticket to Guestival yet, after these 5 reasons, what are you waiting for? Jokes aside, we'd love to see you in Mexico City. But for now, back to the podcast. Over to you.
Yeah, I'm so pumped for Mexico City. It's so fun.
We're getting excited. We're going to be booking our property this week. We probably would have booked it sooner if they had a better, more flexible cancellation policy. But that leads us into our first segment, Brandy.
Yeah. So you might remember a couple weeks ago or months ago now, I don't know, time is really flying by. But there was a bit of a hubbub about some releases in Airbnb's terms of service about reserve now, pay later. It seems like they were the legal teams and the PR teams were not on the same page, because now they have the official release and it is just what it says. You can reserve now and pay a little bit later, a little bit closer to your stay. And there was a lot of concerns about this, affecting hosts' predetermined cancellation rates and, putting hosts more at risk. But I think when you really look through what they're offering, it's just a way to, these are big expenses that people are paying, a couple $1,000s maybe, and it gives people some breathing room and flexibility with how they pay for that. And it only applies to the more flexible cancellation policies. So if you are somehow grandfathered into the super strict, or you have the, stricter cancellation policies, it's not even offered. So no need to panic.
And what I've been looking at properties for us to all stay in Mexico City, and next to the buy now, pay later from Airbnb is Klarna. So they have a competing product on their own page, one that draws it out over 12 months, Klarna, and then the buy now, pay later option with Airbnb is basically cutting it in half. So there's one payment now and then one payment in I guess 2 weeks before check-in. In this case, I don't know if it's always the same, but I don't know. I think if I didn't want to just pay now, probably going to drag it out over a number of months versus into 2 payments. But I don't know. We'd have to do the math and see what interest rate Klarna is charging versus what Airbnb is charging. And Jamie, do you know if there's any interest added on to the Airbnb's charges or no?
No, it's not. It's all, and it's just delaying the payment. And so making it more flexible for you to be able to, and when it's actually going to hit your credit card. And I think what's interesting to me is and we've seen it in our data in terms of analyzing the impact of cancellation policy, of the more flexible your policy is, like all else held equal, the more likely you are to get booked. And guests like flexible policies when booking. So it's one of the first things when I'm like going over with someone, like why their listing might be not getting booked. Like, dude, you've got a strict policy. Your lead time is like 2 weeks. Like, you don't need a strict policy given your property, where it's located, stuff like that. And now this is just one more reason for someone to book a property that's either flexible or moderate, because you have this option to sort of delay payment till 2 weeks before. And when you look out there, like in the US, it's only 40% of listings that have a flexible or moderate policy. And globally, it's about 53%. So it's about just less than half the listings out there that are going to have this option.
Yeah. And I think it would be interesting to see, we were talking about this backstage, but, if you have a bigger home, if you have like a 7-bedroom home, you're probably wary of having your calendar not be locked in. But if you're struggling with bookings and or like maybe seasonally, you can be a little bit more flexible. I think this is a great way. I think even just like psychologically, if you're like, okay, I can split it up into 2 payments, even if it's on the same credit card statement, it might just make you feel a bit better about paying it.
Right.
Yeah. This is one of those areas that hotels are eating our lunch in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I won't think twice about booking a hotel 2 months out because I know I can cancel it. But getting a short-term rental in Mexico City for Guesty, we're figuring out group sizes and how big or how small or how close we want to be to the venue. We just haven't pulled the trigger yet. We haven't reserved one because of the strict cancellation. Airbnb now gives you 48 hours to cancel for free, which is great. It is important. I've used that with Delta all the time. I book a flight and then realize I booked the wrong date, or I need a different time, or I'm not going to do that trip after all, go somewhere else. And that's important to have with Airbnb. But again, I totally get why a beach market or a ski market has not flexible cancellation policies, but a city like Mexico City, I would imagine, should have better cancellation policies, and that has led us to not book. I mean, I've kind of had it queued up to check out for
We've
a couple
been
weeks.
trying.
I haven't done it. So I can see why booking windows have compressed. If the traveler gets penalized for booking ahead of time, then why book ahead of time?
Yeah.
One of the things I like here is this is Airbnb putting their money where their mouth is. Of like, they earned last year $818 million in interest income. So that interest income is from when a guest sort of books and their credit card gets hit, Airbnb collects that money. So right now they have $11.1 billion in their account. They're just funds held on behalf of guests for upcoming stays. So this is them saying, okay, we see like the competition between hotels, like people like being able to buy now, pay later. And we're going to take some of that interest income and we're going to say we're willing to give up some of that because we think properties are more likely to get booked if guests have that option. And then and I see it like as a host, like getting booked through Vrbo, like I get the money immediately. Like I got a booking for my 5-bedroom house for next summer in July. That money already hit my bank account. Like that's amazing. So like Airbnb, like, yeah, they don't pay until 24 hours after the stay starts, but at least they're sort of giving up some of that to help drive incremental bookings for properties.
Giving up some of that to who? When you led into it, you said Airbnb collects that money. I'm going to correct you and say Airbnb collects your money.
Your money.
And holds on to your money. If you had gotten that same booking not on Vrbo and on Airbnb, that money, your money, would be in their account collecting carry and float until the check-in or the guests have already checked in. So
merchant of record is important.
Vrbo is, shout out to them for not holding on to your money. Also shout out to Booking. I love Bookings, at least on the hotel side, and I think they do it on short-term rentals, Brandy.
Yep.
But you can choose a lesser pricey option if you opt out of cancellation, versus if you want flexible cancellation, you'll pay a little bit more. Sometimes I'm willing to pay a little bit more because I need the flexibility. Sometimes I'm fine taking the cheaper one and just ensuring I'm going to be taking the trip. So I like that option. I wish others would do that as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. I wonder if any of the STR booking engines will give you the option to add like a Klarna or your own kind of buy now, pay later, like easy use option in the future. I think when people see once this is rolled out a little bit more, maybe they feel a bit more comfortable. But I mean, Vrbo had this for a while. You could put like 25% down. This isn't like a new concept. I think people just got a little spooked. So hopefully if you're struggling with some bookings and you make maybe some changes and have something more flexible, you might see some changes.
Well, one thing that Vrbo has now or is testing is weather protection via WeatherPromise. Also, when looking at properties in Mexico City, I got served up this WeatherPromise guarantee. If it rains for more than 4 hours during the day, I get that day's worth of reservation back. That's pretty awesome. And I love this product. Location, oriented and activity oriented. If I'm going to be sitting in a conference room all day, I don't care if it's raining. If I'm supposed to be going on a golf trip or I'm going on a beach trip, and I do care that it's raining. So I love weather insurance. It is 1,000 times beyond my mathematical head on how somebody is actually calculating this and not losing their shirt. But they're either losing their shirt or making a killing. So kudos to them. I think it's a great product, and I'm excited. I believe this is just a test that Vrbo is doing right now, but I'm interested to see if this is going to be rolled out on a larger scale.
Yeah, I think this is incredible. I think all the time of people who come to like Miami in the summer, not realizing that it's like basically like the rainy season, and when it just rains all day and yacht day is gone and the golf day is gone. I think this would really make a huge difference in that. You're still probably not happy you're inside, but at least you're getting some money back.
Yeah. And great option if they're able to price this risk right. And we've seen it in real estate where and people were buying houses based on what they thought a home might be worth, and the models and technically right, but then you have the people that sort of select into this because they know maybe they priced the risk wrong. So the fact that and they're using third-party data. It's not like you self-report, it rained 4 days, like give me my money back. And there's this like back and forth. Like I love that you don't even have to submit a claim. Like
It's in your
they've got
account.
the data
Yeah.
and they're going to say, oh, it rained 4 hours on this day. Like we're going to go and put the money in your account. So it's just a different way to think about insurance. Most of the time I don't select the insurance option because I just know myself that I'm not like, even if I get a claim, I'm not going to take the 3 or 4 hours that it's going to, in the brain damage is going to take to go and submit that claim and actually get the money from it.
100%. I also wonder how long that automatic payment thing is going to last for. I think
Well,
I have.
It's the only way you can do it.
Well, I was going to say, I think at some point that might change to like you have to at least submit the claim on your day because like I don't know, the weather might not. I don't know. That seems like too good to be true, but we'll see.
This is just a giant math problem, a giant AI problem.
Yeah.
And I mean, this company, if they've got the right actuaries, then this thing could be like a 5-person company, especially with a partnership with Expedia, Vrbo, doing their distribution for them. Incredible. I mean, it's, again, I don't know how on earth you're going to possibly nail this, the pricing, but they're either going to be out of business in a couple of years or they're going to be $1 billion company. So
Yeah, agreed.
I love it. I love the gamble there.
Well, speaking of Expedia, they have also been on a little bit of a hiring spree, and they hired the former senior VP of design, Rachel Ben, and she was at Airbnb and Google. So this is showing, we always talk about Airbnb, really dominating in terms of design and, user experience. So this kind of signals a shift for Expedia of taking that a bit more seriously and trying to catch up to Airbnb on the design front. So we will.
It's really the differentiator between Airbnb and Expedia.
Yeah.
Expedia is a great company. They've got, they just went through years of technical debt revision. But the thing that they've been grossly behind Airbnb on is the design side of things, and Booking as well. Booking is known for their A/B testing. They're really, really analytical. Expedia has just done a great job of building a solid business, and layering in an expert at design is going to be hopefully a home run for them and leads us into kind of the next decade of Expedia.
Right. And remember, like Airbnb is a design company. Their founders were designs, and design is at their core. What I'm really excited is how design can solve major product issues. So what is the biggest thing and I'm looking for with Expedia and hotels.com and Vrbo is how they can integrate the products together. Like that is a design challenge at its core. Like how do you bring vacation rentals closer into the booking journey for hotel people searching for hotels? Booking is starting to do a decent job at that. Expedia, I still don't think has solved it. Obviously, they're crushing B2B. And what happens B2B? Like B2B, like you almost don't need design, right? Like it's an API connection. It's moving sort of and that inventory to other channels. So this is maybe a part of a push into their consumer side and making that experience significantly better.
Do y'all remember what design was like 10 years ago? So you'd go on Priceline and then you'd get like 10 different pop-up windows. It's crazy. And so, I mean, I'm not a design guy myself. I can't imagine what design looks like in 10 years, but it's going to be significantly better than 10 pop-ups after clicking some dates on Priceline. So
You're like, was I supposed to be on this website? Like,
What are all these sites?
what are all these sites? Yeah, so it's great. It's, obviously Expedia is such an enormous company, so it's great to see that they're continuing to push and innovate. And they're really, you can feel this, I hate when everybody calls things like the wars, but you can feel this competition really heating up between all these major OTAs. And I think that, as guests, as travelers, I think that benefits us in the long run.
Yeah, I'm going to be fascinated to see, going back to the weather thing, Booking tends to try things first. Airbnb, then they view Booking as a big competitor. And then Expedia just kind of slow and steady wins the race, has been their mentality. But they're coming out with some new products like the insurance, the weather insurance. I love it. Like it's a new era. Expedia, they're focused largely on the B2B, like we've talked about on the show a bunch. And they're dominating that space. So I'm excited to keep a track of everything that's going on there. Other things that are rapidly changing is the C-suite at Sonder. So we've had the CEO has resigned, Francis, beginning, I guess, in June, it says. And the CFO, who, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, joined 6 months ago, is now out. That's
It's tough.
That's not good. No, it's not good. Usually a C-suite at a publicly traded company is signing a multi-year contract. And after 6 months, that doesn't bode well for the financials of Sonder.
No, I mean, they must, assuming that person got, a very good pay package and, like you said, a multi-year contract, the fact that it was not good enough or it was scary enough under the hood that they were like, yeah, well,
I'm not going to jail.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, I mean, we've obviously, everyone in the industry has been following Sonder's journey this whole time. And I have a lot of empathy for how difficult it is to run these businesses. And now it's a publicly traded business that probably shouldn't have gone public. And it's just, now everybody just gets to see like the inner crumblings in real time. And I don't know really how they turn this around, if that's like even possible at this point.
Yeah, we still haven't had a financial disclosure for 2025. We're sitting now in August. Like, they've delayed both Q1 and Q2. So we don't have a view of what's actually happening on the financial side. And they did and consummate their sort of brand launch with Marriott. So now they're sort of bookable through Marriott. Hopefully that's helping drive incremental bookings and helping, but now they're paying for that ability. And that is real expense that's going to coming through from all of their bookings. So what I'm looking for next is probably their Costco moment. Like, what is going to be the way that is going to take them private and get them out of sort of the public eye and need for all these public disclosures to sort of bring their books, bring their profitability back. So yeah, I think now that the company's essentially run by the board, and that probably something's coming up soon.
My gut, and I would have loved to have seen the contract between Marriott and Sonder. My gut is Marriott's just sitting back, licking their chops, waiting for this thing to go into foreclosure, bankruptcy, or whatever, and just scoop it up for pennies on the dollar, because it is a good product. Like, their design, their buildings, their locations, they're great. And, again, no one wants to see short-term rental companies go under. I certainly don't. We're rooting for Sonder like we were rooting for Vacasa. I think Vacasa ended up in the best possible situation, and I'm excited to see how the franchise model plays out in short-term rentals. But we could also see the franchise model play out in hotels in short-term rentals. So my guess is there's going to be restructuring, possibly bankruptcy, Who knows? This is not me talking about any financial advice on what to do with Sonder stock. So don't take it that way. Disclaimer. I don't know what legalese I should be using now, but
disclaimer.
do not trade Sonder stock on anything that I say. But my guess is that Marriott is going to have a say in what happens in the long run.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about some of their buildings, especially like New York, London. I mean, places where it's like really prime real estate that, you know, another operator, hotel or otherwise, would be pretty psyched to have. So I think, I mean, if this is the way things are going, I definitely feel like before the end of the year, there's going to be some bigger news about what their next step is.
To be fair, we've been saying that for about a year.
That's true. That's true.
So kudos to them. I guess if you don't put out financial statements for a year, then you can buy more time. Didn't know that was a thing, but now I do. Thanks, Jamie. But yeah, it does feel like at least in the next year, maybe by the end of this year, we'll have some clarity on what happens with Sonder going forward.
Yeah, you know, I think so at Romy every year we have a palmetto bug, which for those who don't know, that's just a name for a cockroach, award to like the person who can't be stopped. And I kind of feel like if you're in this business, especially in the urban landscape still, you have to be pretty scrappy. So, you know, we used to look at their financials and be like, well, they only have X amount of cash and their costs are blah, blah, like trying to predict when the end was coming. And they're little palmetto bugs. They keep surviving. So it's got to be scrappy. So, but great. Well, any other comments for you guys? Anything exciting happening this week? Same old.
Same old here. Jamie, you traveling?
Flying out to Denver tomorrow morning. So, Will, if you know you're listening, wanna grab a drink, let me know. I think we're going to the Rockies game tomorrow night. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited to I'm not excited to leave the Northeast. This is like my happy place, but I'm excited to get home and I'm excited to make moves and get ready for Guestival. So if you're a listener and you still haven't bought tickets to Guestival, you don't have to be a Guesty user. If you're just curious about using it or you just like the people that are going to be presenting and talking, you can still get tickets. The link is in the show notes. That is in Mexico City in September. So we're definitely looking forward to going. And for all of our listeners, if you want to find the links to the things we talked about, those will be in the show notes. And with that, we'll see you all next week.